Hello once again, my watchers of awesome movies. My name is Nick Pell, and once again, this is coming from my white room. Now, this week for you guys, I am reviewing the movie Lincoln. This movie came out about mid-November, so it's a little while in the past. I just saw it today in my theater, so I'm reviewing it for you now. So we got Daniel Day-Lewis. He portrays Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, and he does a phenomenal job with it. And the fact that he is able to portray Abraham Lincoln in such a great fashion, and it's probably the most accurate portrayal I've seen of Abraham Lincoln. Sally Field portrays Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Lincoln, who also does a really good job. I don't really know the history behind this whole scenario all that well, because I haven't studied it all that much, but assuming that the events are more or less accurate, she does a really good job portraying how Mary Lincoln would have felt and reacted to various situations in the movie in that time period. So she does a really good job as well. Kind of Lincoln's right-hand man, William Seward, is portrayed by, he's portrayed by David Strathairn. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not positive. But this guy's been in a lot of different films. I can't really list off anything right off the bat, but he does a really good job as well. Kind of getting the idea to Lincoln that this 13th Amendment is going to be extremely difficult to pass, and at the beginning of the movie he tries to convince him not to go through with it. So yeah, he's kind of Lincoln's right-hand man, his advisor, and his most trusted official, I would say. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I had forgotten that he was in this movie until I saw him show up. He plays Lincoln's second eldest son, Robert Lincoln, and he's not in a lot of scenes in the movie, but the stuff that he is in, he's able to showcase how Robert Lincoln desperately wants to prove himself. He wants to be somebody, and in this time period during war, that includes going out and fighting for your country. Lincoln and his wife, they're very adamant about him not doing that because they feel like he's going to get killed like their eldest son did, but eventually they give in because they see how much he really wants to do this. And lastly, Tommy Lee Jones. He also has a very pivotal role. He is more or less the leader of the Republican Party at this time. Keep in mind, the Republican and Democratic parties were not this. They didn't have the same values as they did, or as they do today. So, Republicans aren't immensely conservative, and Democrats aren't immensely liberal. They had different issues and they had different backgrounds. But Tommy Lee Jones he portrays Thaddeus Stevens, who is the leader, like I said, of the Republican Party, and he is probably the most adamant about equal rights and the abolishment of slavery. So yeah, seeing Tommy Lee Jones in anything is always awesome to witness, but he does a really good job in this, showing just how incredibly desired Stevens was about getting this amendment passed, and so that's really cool to see. And so moving on to the plot, the plot revolves mainly around the passing of the 13th Amendment. It takes place primarily during the month of January in 1865. It's towards the very end of the war. If you know American history, Civil War ended in April of 1865, so the South was pretty much lost at this point because they were running out of supplies and they weren't getting any sort of support from any other nations like they thought that they would, and so it was more or less lost. Lincoln adamantly wants to pass this 13th Amendment. Obviously, there is opposition to the passing of the bill, and you see kind of how he deals with that, how him and his cabinet are able to round up the extra 20 votes from the Democratic side that they need in order to pass the bill. That's the main plot of it, is Lincoln trying to pass the 13th Amendment, which would abolish slavery, and you get to see his struggles and everything that goes on behind the scenes with that. So yeah, in terms of enjoyment, I actually liked the movie. Someone who saw it with me, they thought it was kind of boring, which I can understand because it's not really actiony. It's a historical movie. It's basically made to show the struggles that Lincoln dealt with in his passing of the 13th Amendment, and I think it does that very well. Spielberg captured that brilliantly, and Daniel Day-Lewis was able to portray Lincoln's character in a great way. Yeah, it might have been a little bit slow at times, but I didn't really notice it. It's 2.5 hours long. but I saw this right after Les Miserables, so I don't know. For some reason, the time didn't seem like it was going all that slow for me. But yeah, if you like historical films, if you're interested in American history, anything of that nature, I recommend going to see it. If you can't sit through an hour and a half long movie without starting to fidget, don't go see it because you won't last. Yeah, that's my review. Definitely go see it. I hope you like this review. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I would be happy about that. As always, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, my good people, keep on watching.
These days are gone, and we can't keep holding on when all we need is some relief through these hard times.